Welcome, dads and granddads. Are you married? Have kids? Have grandkids? Have lifelong friends? Like to go fishing? Golfing? Play sports? Smoke a stogie? Act immature? Make wine? Drink wine? Drink beer? Did I say drink wine? Don't make that face. If any of this describes you, you're just like me. You're an old school dad trying to survive in a modern day world. So sit back, relax, and have a drink, and enjoy my stories of the modern day dad. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Today's episode is for pizza night. Let's start this off right. Pizza night is from scratch. So we have yeast, sugar, room temperature water, about a cup, and, as you saw, some already. Can't forget that. Okay, with these simple ingredients, let's get started. Okay, what I usually do here is I grab a teaspoon and a bit of yeast and pour it into lukewarm water, not hot water. It'll kill the yeast. So just make sure it's like either room temperature or a little bit above. And then what I like to do is I like to feed it with a little bit of sugar. Put that in there and give it a good mix. Some people do, some people don't. I always give it a good mix. And that's really it for this part. Just let it sit there for about 10 minutes. Wonder what I could do for 10 minutes. Okay, on to the dry ingredients. Flour. You can use all-purpose. If you want to get pizza geeky, go to 00 flour. It's an Italian flour that's got that little extra gluten to make that pizza oh so good. Anyways, I use about 2.5 to 3 cups per 1 cup of liquid. And speaking of the liquid, she is bubbling nicely. That means the yeast is active. Back to the dry mixture, where I put some salt and a few globs of extra virgin olive oil. Now I add the water, yeast, and salt mixture to the dry ingredients, and I put it into a KitchenAid mixer. You could do this by hand, gets you more intimately involved with the dough, but it is a lot more messy. I make a lot of dough, so I use the mixer.
Look, say hi, Eli. Say hi.
Well, someone's a little camera shy. Onto the dough. I let it mix for about 5 minutes or so. The dough should be sticky to the touch, and voila, it's ready to proof. Grab a glass bowl, a container, whatever you can get your hands on. As you can see here, I'm taking a casserole dish, and I'm lacing it with a little bit of olive oil. Using a food brush, just spread it all around there, making sure I get all the sides. Now we're ready to put the dough inside the oiled dish. Again, as you can see here, I like my dough a little bit sticky. It's a little bit more difficult to maneuver and manipulate, but much better after it comes out of the oven. Now it's time to form a ball out of the dough and making sure that the entire dough is at least coated with a little bit of olive oil before you cover it up. And don't forget, you must cover it up and let it sit for at least a few hours. Hold on, time for a swig. Alright, here's what she looks like on the ledge of my living room. Nothing sexy, they're all in containers, stolen from my wife's kitchen, proofing. Alright, the dough is proofed. And just so you know, the proofing process can be up to 24 hours. I usually make mine in the morning, and I'm making the pizza by night. So on a well-floured surface, I start to fondle the dough. That's right, I said fondle. Believe it or not, this is going to take some practice, especially if you noticed I am not using a rolling pin. Please, if you need to use a rolling pin, go for it. Here's where I'm going to share a little secret. I use parchment paper. I put the dough on parchment paper so that when I put it in the oven, the toppings don't go first and onto the oven floor. The first thing I do is give the dough a nice brush of extra virgin olive oil. Next is the pizza sauce. Not too much. Spread it all around. If you would have guessed cheese was the next ingredient, you would be correct. Mozzarella cheese for pizza is awesome. Use as much or as little as you'd like. It's been a while since my last break. After that, in terms of toppings, the sky's the limit really for a pizza. Here I'm just making a very basic pepperoni and cheese pizza. I could talk about toppings like pineapples or even this pepperoni pizza, which you won't find in Italy, but that's for another time. Our pizza is ready for the oven. Remember that parchment paper? Look how easy that was. A few minutes into cooking, I'll take out the parchment paper. And about 7 minutes later, you have a pizza. And even as experienced as I am, I had a little accident, but it tastes good all the same. Here's a pepperoni and mushroom cheese pizza. At this point, there truly is only one thing left to do. And I think you know what that is. Sink into the couch and wait for your family to show up for dinner. Or you can bring the pizza to your family, like your daughter, who's in bed at 6 o'clock in the evening. Don't ask. Meanwhile upstairs, here is what's awaiting the rest of the fam. So, that's this dad making pizza. I'm out of time, and I'm out of beer. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya!